Now, we've moved on in terms of record keeping, but in modern times, the businesses I represent also buy grain from a large variety of countries all over the world.
As I said, I've always seen the European Economic Area as the safe harbour for Britain. I mean, if you go back through the period when I was in politics, you'll see me arguing that being in the EEA is not as good as being in the European Union, and I still believe that. But being in the EEA is much better than the other alternatives that are on the cards. Now, to be absolutely honest, I am baffled about why the Labour leadership is so worried about supporting the EEA position. I fear that the position that they have taken makes Jeremy Corbyn the midwife of a hard Brexit. Because if you reject the European Economic Area and technically being a member of the European Free Trade Area position, then you're driven to a hard Brexit that doesn't just impede trade in goods and services in the way that have been described today, but also undermines the rights of employees, undermines the social and economic and environmental bargain that exists.
Brexit is the biggest challenge that we have faced as a country for decades. And we share an absolute determination not to give in to the siren voices who have told us that they can negotiate deals with, and I quote, the exact same benefits, or that everyone who voted leave knew all about the customs union and the single market and had decided they wanted out. We know just from Dan Hannon's article last week that that is not true. Because the truth is that a hard Brexit, which severs us from the deep economic ties with the European Union, will have real-world, practical and adverse consequences for companies like Tilda and their employees.
The gymnastic U-turns by the Brexiteers is something which is leaving not only many of us, but I think many of our European partners utterly perplexed. But most importantly of all, they are perplexed by this, which is the purpose and relates to the purpose of today's event, is that Britain, for the last 40 years, was the leading proponent of open markets and free trade within the European Union. Let us not forget that it was a British Commissioner, Lord Cockfield, a British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, who were the prime architects of the single market in the first place, the world's most accomplished, most complete, borderless, multinational marketplace anywhere in the planet. Brexit is just a sort of political parlour game played out in debates in Westminster. I hope they could have listened to what Umesh and Alex said, because if we needed any reminding, I think Umesh and Alex, to whom I want to also extend my gratitude for hosting this.